Hi everyone, I'm Colette Zaharko and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to make Quiche Lorraine.
Quiche Lorraine is a delicious French tart recipe made with egg mixture, bacon and cheese. This recipe is so affordable and easy to make.
What you need is just eggs, some pie crust, and also some Swiss cheese or Gruyere cheese, and onion and bacon and Parmesan cheese and salt and pepper. Oh, and heavy cream. So that is all we need. And I'm so excited to bring you guys this recipe. So stick around and we're going to have a delicious food. We're gonna go ahead and prepare our pie crust because we need to bake it first. So we're going to use a store-bought crust today. You can make your own crust, but I just used the store-bought today. And the key for using this store-bought pie crust is that you need to let it sit at the room temperature for a few minutes before you prepare it, because it's so hard to use them when they're super cold. Okay, so this is what we're going to use, and for this recipe we don't need to use both of the crusts.
Now let's go ahead and roll the pie dough to fit a 9-inch pie plate, and make sure that the dough is at room temperature to make it easier to work with.
Okay, so let's go ahead and flute the pie.
You can decorate the dough any style you want, but you have to build the rim and flute it so that the crust can crisp, and it will also prevent the crust from getting soggy from the filling, and also so you can have a pretty looking pie.
Alright, there we go. Okay, so we are done with preparing the pie crust. Okay, so here I got the parchment paper, and it's going to cover the pie crust, and I put the things inside. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put this pie crust in the oven at 400 degrees. After that, we're gonna remove it and reduce the temperature to 375 and bake it for 5 more minutes. We're gonna brush some egg whites in it, so that will keep the pie crust for not breaking and give it a really nice gloss. All right, let's do that. Okay, so the pie crust is in the oven. Let's go ahead and cook the bacon. I already went ahead and cut the bacon for you. So
this recipe is from the cooking.newyorktimes.com. It's by Craig Claiborne. This recipe's got tons of really good reviews, and it's a very good recipe, so I've made it a lot. I also made a few changes to this recipe.
So yeah, in the recipe he says to use 4 strips of bacon, but I really like bacon. My family loves bacon, so that's why I think this is like 8 strips of strips. So this is 8 strips of bacon. It doesn't matter how many you use. If you love bacon, just use bacon. All right, let's go ahead and cook the bacon. So alright, so our bacon is cooking. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cook the bacon until it's brown. Okay. Alright, so this just came out of the oven. It's been in the oven for 10 minutes. And let's go ahead and remove this. I always save my beans because I can use it to make another pie, so I don't throw it away. I just put it in a bag so I can save it. Okay, so let's put this aside. So this is how it looks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash it with an egg white.
So this is what I do to separate the yolk and the egg white. It's pretty easy. And you don't need to whisk this egg white for a long time. You can just use a fork and that's it, you're done. Brushing the pie crust with egg white will really prevent soggy bottom. Also, it will help the crust to get crispy and get a beautiful color.
This is fun, huh? Okay, I think that is enough. Do one more. One more. Okay. Alright, and I'm gonna go put it in the oven for another 5 minutes. Alright, so our bacon is looking good. Don't you love the smell of bacon? I love bacon. That's one of my favorite American food. Yeah, it's so good. I really like it. Okay, so we're only going to need 3 eggs. Well, it's going to be 4, I guess, because I don't want to waste the egg that I used earlier. So I dumped it in there. Okay, I'm gonna keep this to put the eggshells.
So let's crack the eggs in a bowl. This is how I do mine. How do you guys crack eggs?
Wipe your hand. Get the fork. Beat it for just a little bit. And then let's go ahead and use the heavy cream.
We are only going to use 1.5 cup of heavy cream for this recipe.
In the sink. We're also going to need some salt.
And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper.
Oh, and the nutmeg. You know, that kind of sounds weird using nutmeg in a pie, but it actually tastes super good. But we're going to use just a little bit, so we're only gonna use 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And let's beat it a little bit, and then let's add 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. There you go. The bacon is almost good. Almost done. I like it so crispy like this, but this is done right on time for us to cook the onion. So I went ahead and put the bacon in here, and always make sure to use a paper towel to catch the grease, because we don't want it to be too greasy. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna put it over here, and I already went ahead and chopped my onions, and I saved almost about 1 tablespoon of the onion. Of the grease. The bacon grease. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cook the onion to caramelize it. I like it caramelized, not translucent, because it tastes much better when it's caramelized. So let's go ahead and cook that. So while that is getting ready, let's go ahead and prepare our custard.
So let's gently combine everything together, and we have to make sure that the salt has fully evaporated, or else the tart is not going to taste good.
This is gonna be good. I make good dish. Alright. Oh, just spilled. This is coming along nicely too. Alright. Okay, so while that is cooking, we need to go ahead and cut the Swiss cheese. The best thing about this recipe is that you buy the ingredients. You don't have to use everything right away. We're not gonna use all of this cheese. I'm going to cut it in half, and I can save this for later. We only need 1 cup of this cheese. There's some onion skin. Okay, remove that. Okay, so
now let's cut the cheese into small little cubes. You can also grate the cheese, but the recipe said to cube it, so that's what I did in this recipe.
okay, so our onion is almost done. It's starting to brown and it smells so good. the best thing about this recipe is that you can make it any way you want. There's no rule. Yeah, so that's what I like about these recipes. You can put vegetables in it. I've tried it with mushrooms. I've tried it with tomatoes, spinach. It tasted really well. But I'm just keeping it simple because I want to make the recipe from Craig Claiborne for this video. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, and look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? It makes me happy looking at it, like, yay! Looks so good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. What I'm gonna do is
Sprinkle half of a cooked bacon on the bottom. What we're trying to do is we're going to build the layers.
that down. My hands are greasy. And
Let's go ahead and sprinkle the cheese on top of the bacon. Don't be afraid to taste it because you're the cook and you can do whatever you want. And when the onions are ready, go ahead and take half of it and sprinkle it on top of the bacon and the cheese. Then after that, let's go ahead and sprinkle the egg mixture on top. Be very gentle.
big shake for it to get in. Then I'm gonna
Repeat that step by adding the bacon, the onions, and the cheese on top of the egg mixture. This is how we get the beautiful layered Quiche Lorraine. I like to do it this way because now I get a bite of everything that's inside the quiche. Then lastly, let's add the egg mixture again on top of everything. Let's do it gently.
shake it a little bit for it to get in well. Okay, look. Doesn't it look good? Alright, so the trick is to put a plate on top of a baking pan like this, so it's much easier to carry it into the oven and you're not really gonna burn your hand. So use a baking pan. Yeah, so on Craig Claiborne's original recipe, he says to cook it for 25 minutes, but that's too short to cook it, and the quiche doesn't cook all the way. So the perfect time for it is 45 minutes. So 45 minutes in a 375 degrees oven. I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and see the result. Alright, you guys, look, it's done. Okay, so we're gonna test it out. If it's done, get a knife and stick it, and then when it's clean like that, that means it's cooked. Let me try a little bit there. Yep, it's perfectly done. Okay, this will go down pretty soon, and we're going to leave it out for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna eat it. It looks so good. So I am super excited. Okay, so we are ready. Let's go ahead
And slice the quiche. The inside is not jiggling anymore, so that means that the pie is ready for eating.
It's perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and taste it. Okay, it's looking so good, you guys. Okay, let's give it a taste. Okay. This tastes so good. The Parmesan cheese and the Swiss cheese together, they're the perfect combination. It's crunchy. The pie crust is so crunchy, and the bacon and the onion, it's so amazing. I hope you guys will try this recipe. Let me know when you try it. Just write on a comment down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I hope to see you guys here soon. Thank you so much, and bye bye.